Tom's Diner was written in Tom's Restaurant. It's really about Tom's Restaurant on 112th Street and Broadway in New York City. And it was really written from the point of view of my friend Brian, who is a photographer, and had made a comment to me one day that as a photographer he felt like he saw his whole life as though it were like through a pane of glass. And he always felt like he was the witness to a lot of things, but he was never really involved in them. So I was sitting at Tom's Restaurant one morning, and suddenly I guess I got this weird feeling. It came over me, and I thought, well, if I were Brian today, how would I be perceiving these different things? And in a way, it was supposed to be like slightly humorous and not entirely to be taken totally seriously. And also I thought of it from a male point of view. There's no Tom's Diner, but there is a Tom's Restaurant. And of course, you know, diner sings better than restaurant, so that's why I changed it to diner. And it's up on 112th Street and Broadway, which most people know by now that that's where it is. I have heard that Tom's Diner is also, the place where it says restaurant. I think that the signs are the same ones that they used for the Seinfeld show. I always thought that was kind of a funny thing, because now it's become like a symbol of New York, when, back 15 years ago when I wrote the song, it was just a neighborhood joint. And I used to eat breakfast there when I was going to school and before I would go to work. It's a really, at least it was, back when I wrote the song, it was a very ordinary place, a very New York sort of place, nothing fancy, not picture perfect, not even terribly atmospheric, just like a regular joint, and that's why I really liked it. The main thing about this person who's singing the song, the narrator of the song, is that he's not involved in anything that he's looking at. Even the woman who looks in through the window, he thinks that she's flirting with him, but it turns out that she's only fixing her stocking. So, in a sense, he's isolated from everything that he's looking at. He looks through the paper and he sees that that there was an actor, but he doesn't know the actor, so he skips over to the horoscope, which does concern him. So it was a little bit of a portrait that I was trying to draw using that device. And at the very end, there's just this one memory, and the memory of someone's voice, and the bells ringing, and the memory of a midnight picnic, which I actually did have a midnight picnic with someone on the steps of the cathedral up at St. John the Divine. I think it was about 12:30, and we had this little, we brought our food, and we sat on the steps, and we ate it. It was a very romantic moment for me in my own life. So I picked these different moments out, and I made a little storyline. And that's one thing I think people miss sometimes, is that it's not just a song about breakfast, it's a song about being disconnected or feeling alienated, and then the sort of wistful moment back to when you really felt connected to someone, when you were in love with them. And so that's really what the song's about. Tom's Diner was remixed by DNA, which were two boys in England who took the original Tom's Diner and had put a dance track behind it. And so I listened to it, and I thought it was very funny. So I said, why don't we release this as a single? And then it went on to sell 3 million copies. And a lot of people who originally liked the song on Solitude Standing were very offended by it, and actually thought that I had done that myself. So I got some letters from people saying, what did you do that for? And that sort of thing. But I released it because I thought it was good, and I thought it was funny. I've always felt this really strong attraction to rhythm. Partly what I love about a song is putting the words together in a way where it really fits, and it has its own groove, even if the music is not groovy underneath it. And that was one of the things that when the DNA boys took Tom's Diner and remixed it and put that groove underneath Tom's Diner, I said, what gave you guys the idea to do that? And they said it was obvious. If we hadn't done it, somebody else would have, because the rhythm was already there, the groove was already there. Now, I certainly didn't hear that groove under Tom's Diner, but they did. I think it took a lot of imagination to do that, and to make it work, and to figure out that the da-da-da-das could be a chorus. I thought was pretty cool arranging. I enjoyed what they did. A lot of people, I know the rumor out there is that I tried to kill it, but I didn't. If I had wanted to kill it, it would have been dead. But I didn't. I said, let's release it as a single and see where it goes, and it went much further than I expected.